Yo, what's up, lads? It's Tom, and we're going to discuss how I manage my weekends so I can still have good balance, but not slow down my progress, let alone send me backwards. The goal is to move forward on the weekends, but just in a slightly different way. And I know it's a tough one, guys. Social events, in my opinion, when obviously I've been in this industry a long time now, and I've seen a lot of mistakes, is what I would say. And the most common reason, hands down, on why people don't get in the shape they want to get is just because of how bad their bad days are and how they manage their social events, how they manage their weekends. Everybody's good day is a good day. That's what you've got to remember. Stop looking for all these secret recipes on your good day. For example, if you're working with a coach or you're studying and you've got a good program in place, well, you've just got to effectively nail the plan. If I follow the plan versus if you follow the plan versus if Arnold Schwarzenegger follows the plan, it's still following the plan. Now, the difference is between those who really kill it with the physique but have a good lifestyle is how they manage their off days when they're not following the plan. Because look, I don't know about you guys, but I do not want to be a pro bodybuilder. I just want to be in great shape for myself, for my confidence, for how I operate mentally, my productivity, because I'm running a business and I just like to look and feel good. And this is not about being on stage. That is just not for me, right? So we need to manage our off plans as well as possible. So today we're going to run through the framework that I use when it comes to the weekends to ensure that our bad days aren't sending us back. Because if we think about it, guys, Monday to Friday on plan, if we say every good day on plan equates for 1, we could go 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. And we get to 5 come Friday, okay? But what we don't want to do is end the week back on 0 by having 2 bad days, minus 2.5, minus 2.5, and then we're back at the same position. That is the worst case scenario. And to be fair, it can actually be worse. You can actually go backwards even after 5 good days on plan. So those 2 days come the weekend are essential. Honestly, guys, if you think about it, if you're going to be net plus 5 come Friday evening, even if you just went 0 over the weekend and you just hit your maintenance from high quality food, you're still plus 5 at the end of the week. You just don't want to finish at 1 or 2 or 0 or minus 2. And that's the difference. And if you manage this alone, it will completely transform the rate of your progress with your physique. So just learn to manage them well. So I've put here, guys, I've got a few different options on how I manage it, a few different mindset frameworks as well on how to go about it. Now, the first thing I will say is obviously the more things you're going to, it is more distraction and potentially could be more things to throw you off. But that's not to say they have to impede you, but it is something to still be mindful of. Just think about, like, if you're in an environment where all your friends are always drinking, always eating shit food, your discipline muscle is most likely to potentially get hit if that's what you're surrounded by, because the standards around you are like that. So I would just, first of all, if they are very frequent, I would limit them slightly, just so the chances of you actually getting dragged into doing something you're not really a fan of is much slimmer. Now, the second thing that you can do is you can just go into the weekend. I know for me, when I'm focusing on my work and I work through the weekends, and I just take time out whenever I want to take time out. So if productivity and energy is a big one, well, what about when the weekend comes, you forget that it's a weekend? Weekend is some made up bullshit, lads. What about that one? Like, why are you calling it a weekend? It's just another day. But if you're working in a 9 to 5, like I used to do, you're just not going to work. But what's the difference? It makes it even easier to eat your plan, right? So that's another thing. If you are working on yourself in all areas and you want to be sharp, you don't want to have anxiety in the morning waking up from drinking or from eating bad food, you could just stick to your plan. Now, I know Not every day you want to stick to your plan. So that's why we're going to go into the next two things. The first one is if you have a meal plan and you are eating normally 4 meals, what you can do is you can just remove your 2 largest meals from your meal plan. So let's say you are on a 2,500 calorie meal plan. And let's say they're all roughly 600 calories, 625 calories, if we're going to split them up down the middle. What you may do is just pull out 1250. Okay, so if you pull out 2 meals, you pull out 1250 calories, and then you go out and you go to a restaurant or you go out with your mates or you order some food and you just are consciously aware that you're going to keep your meal within 1250 calories as close as you can from high quality food sources. I will always say that, always from high quality food sources. Once in a blue moon, yes, you may have something a little bit off, but I honestly, I'm not saying I never have any of these meals, guys. I do occasionally, but it isn't even from a physique standpoint. I just hate how it makes me feel in my mind, my ability to focus for the following days, how I operate at work. Like, I just feel water and stuff in my face if I eat loads of rubbish. So I would limit it. And so when you go to a restaurant, if you're pulling out your 2 biggest meals, you got, let's say, 1250 calories to play with, still be picking the fillet steaks, the ribeye steaks, the salmon, the chicken, the cod. Like, you can still always pick the better quality stuff. But if you just focus on, right, I've got 1250 calories, for example, and I've got a protein target, so I want to pick a quite high protein focused meal. That's the next thing I would say, is when you pick a meal, try and pick a meal which it's orientated around protein. Okay, so the main element of the dish is protein, and then you may pick a couple of sides like some roast potatoes or some potato wedges or veg or whatever. Okay, that's what I would do. So that's approach 1. The next thing you could do is, all right, Tom, I'm not going out to a restaurant. What do I do now? Because I still don't want to eat my meal plan every day. And so you shouldn't, right? I'm always a big fan of you eat your meal plan when you're in structure. So if you're going to work and you're working, eat your meal plan because it keeps you systemized. You're going to feel better at work. You're going to get the best results you possibly can. And it just keeps you in structure. It removes decision fatigue. The more decisions you have to make, the less progress you're going to make in all other areas of life. But come the weekend, you're taking a day off and it's a Saturday and you just want to have, maybe you want to put protein pancakes in. Maybe you want to put some fajitas in. Maybe you want to put just some random good food in, and you've seen some of these recipes on TikTok or on YouTube that people are making, and you want to go for it. You want to make something that's healthy, it's high quality, but you just want to throw in a few random meals that you definitely wouldn't make through the week because the quality is probably not quite as high, but also the time to make them is going to be a lot longer. But you've got the time now because it's Saturday. What I would now do is, from your meal plan, get your calories and macros, and I would type in all the ingredients and all the amounts of everything. This may take you 10, 15 minutes, and that's why I wouldn't do it every day because it's such a fucking waste of time. On a weekend, type in everything into MyFitnessPal and go from there. And then you can have like a custom calories and macros day from decent food sources. You're still hitting your protein. I don't mind if carbs and fats alter slightly, as long as you're hitting your protein, you're hitting your calories. One day of doing that is also going to be great. Now, the next thing you can do is intuitivity, right? And this is a skill. This is a muscle, effectively. Now, the best thing that I see and the biggest difference that allows clients to excel when we've worked with them for a long period of time is the longer they've worked with us, the better their muscle of intuitivity gets. So at the start of the process, a lot of people can come in and they follow a plan, and then they're off plan. There's some struggles. We've got to work on some stuff. Every single week, we've got some constructive criticism on how we could better manage things so they can enjoy it and they can come back and they can still make the progress and be in that net positive of 5, 6, or 7 across the week. Over time, over 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, 12 months, some of our clients have been with us 3 years and they look ridiculous. They're not even the same human beings. And their skill to be intuitive and to go away for a week for social, for leisure, or for work, or go travel down to whatever city with work for 2 days and they don't have a meal plan and they're not tracking because some food's not trackable in restaurants, their ability to come back and have still made progress is ridiculous. So for the more advanced guys, if you work with a coach a long period of time where you feel really skilled in the field and you have had periods of time, like for me, I don't use MyFitnessPal all the time. I will occasionally, when I'm not following my meal plan, do a MyFitnessPal day. But if I go out to like a day club or something, I will be intuitive, but I will still make progress. And that's just because I've had years and years and years of following plans, of tracking on MyFitnessPal, my awareness for food. I see everything in supermarkets now and in restaurants, and my head's just like, it's like I've got a little digital monitor on my forehead and it's just spitting out calories and macros. I can just write programs up for fun and I can just, without even looking at any form of calculation stuff, I know calories and macros. And it's muscle memory. And this just comes over time. So this is where life gets pretty cool, because you can just wake up during the week, follow your plan that's systemized, makes life easier. It's built around the foods you enjoy. And then it comes to an occasion and you don't even have to think. You just know how to manage it. For me, it would be, I would wake up, I'd have a period of time where I'd fast, I'd have my morning coffee. And then come 11:30, 12 o'clock, I would have one meal. And then I would have another meal about 3:30 and another meal about 6. And I would just know how to structure them in terms of, okay, depending on how big the first one were, I know how much I can have in the second and the third, But I'm always trying to visualize the future before it happens. I'm trying to forecast it. And when I pick my food, I'm not just thinking about the short-term gratification. I'm thinking of second-order consequences. So, okay, this may feel fucking amazing in my mouth right now, but how am I going to feel tomorrow and the following week? And how is this going to impact my confidence and my physique? This is what you want to be thinking about, guys. So hope these help a lot. Just to summarize, you can forget it's the fucking weekend, right? Because it's all made up bullshit, and you can carry on as normal. You could have a MyFitnessPal calories and macros day. It does take a little bit more time and you can do that. I'm a big fan of, if you're following 4 or 5 meals a day on a meal plan, you could just remove the 2 largest and the calories and the protein from those. You just try to hit in one meal that's off plan. And this is almost like a structured form of intuitivity. The last approach is just getting good at intuitive eating. And therefore you can then actually stay within your calories and roughly to your macros and your protein, especially over a day off. Obviously, the more days you are away from plan, yes, it is going to impact your physique more and more, even if you are a great intuitive eater, but we are here for a lifestyle. So I would always say, try and have 5 or 6 days a week where you just are in a systemized, structured manner on average, and then pick that day where you have a full day to a calories and macros, or you take an odd meal off plan, maybe 1 or 2 a week, and you are gonna make ridiculous amounts of progress. Don't just think about what to do, think about what not to do. All right, let's get it.